Time now for Michigan's #1 outdoor radio show, Mike Avery's Outdoor Magazine. Outdoor Magazine is brought to you by Jay's Sporting Goods, the Yider Insurance Group, Forward Corporation and T.R. McTaggart, Angler Quest Boats, Security Credit Union, Garber Chevrolet, and by Michigan Brand Meats. Now, here's Mike Avery.
Well, thank you, Ken Hunter, for that introduction, and welcome to hour number 3 of this week's Outdoor Magazine show right here on the Outdoor Magazine Radio Network. Outdoor Magazine, a 3-hour weekly radio show heard on broadcast stations across the state of Michigan with the goal of talking about, promoting, encouraging outdoor recreation, hunting and fishing and shooting and trapping here in the great state of Michigan. And so glad to have you along with us. You know, I've been doing this for a long time, did television for a long time now. Really blessed just to be working in radio and podcasting. And I always say, you know, I got to go to some very cool places when I had the television show. And it was nice to go to Africa and Alaska and Mexico and all across this country. But I think the really cool thing, and the thing that'll stay with me forever, is the very interesting people that I've had a chance to work with. Richard P. Smith is right near the top of that list. Richard, an outdoor writer based out of Marquette in the UP. In my opinion, an absolute expert when it comes to bear hunting and whitetail hunting. Over the years, he's provided a lot of material, not only for my radio show, but also for the TV show as well. And we catch him today as he's headed to deer camp, and he's graciously given us some time, and I appreciate it. Richard, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Great, Mike. A little on the cold side.
Yeah, I was sitting in my tree stand last night. It was 72, and I woke up this morning, and it was 30 degrees cooler. So quite a cold front that came through.
Yes, the wind chills are in the teens here.
Oof.
And I spent 3 hours in the tree stand this morning.
And how's your season going?
Slow. There seems to be less buck activity than in the past. In fact, we just started seeing scrapes, a few days ago.
Is it related to that unbelievable warm spell we had, do you think?
I don't think so. Normally, scrapes and rubs start showing at the end of October, and we weren't seeing them then either. And we had some cold weather then.
So what does it mean? If you're not seeing the signs of it, does it mean the bucks just aren't there?
Well, we did see some bucks, and I've got bucks on camera, so I don't think it's that the bucks aren't there. It just, something seems strange about their movements this year.
Hey, Richard, it's 2020. Why wouldn't that be all screwed up too, like everything else is?
Exactly.
Let's talk about the rut a little bit here, because every year people say, "Oh, the rut's going to be early this year, or the rut's going to be late this year, or the full moon, the weather conditions, the heat, the cold." What is it that brings on the rut? What triggers the bucks to start getting a little bit crazy?
It's called photo period, which is the decreasing day length. That triggers the breeding season and fires bucks up, increases the testosterone levels of bucks, and gets them to start rubbing and scraping and looking for does.
So if it's the amount of daylight, then shouldn't the rut be consistent from year to year, regardless of what the weather or the moon does?
It usually is, and if we have warm weather like we had the last few days, a lot of the deer activities tends to be at night rather than in the daytime, and that leads people to think that the rut is late. It's just happening when they're not there.
Yeah. Before we start talking too much deer hunting, let's go back to bear season. How was your bear season this year?
Well, I had a very successful season because of the group I hunted with. I hunted with, it was like a father-son camp. There was one guy that had a son in college. He was helping him get his first bear with a bow. And then there was another father and son where the father was older in age and his son was helping him get a bear. 3 out of the 4 guys killed bears, and the 4th guy saw legal bears almost every day he hunted, but he was waiting for a big male and never saw it. I had big bears on the baits I hunted, but they were all nocturnal. So I never actually saw a legal bear.
And that's unusual for you, isn't it, Richard?
It is. It's the first time in umpteen years that I haven't seen a legal bear during the late bear season.
That's one of the reasons why I love bear hunting, because, and I don't pretend to have nearly the amount of experience you do, but in my limited experience, just when you think you've got them set, just when you think you've got them dialed in and patterned, I ran into the same thing hunting with Johnny Bowler. We had wonderful, beautiful, big, mature bears coming in during the daylight hours, and then boom, a switch got flipped, and I saw one bear during daylight, and I think it was a sow. She didn't give me a shot, but that's what I love about bear hunting.
Right. And part of the reason I didn't fill my bear tag this year is I didn't have as much time to hunt as I normally do. I like hunting the first 2 weeks of October, but I was not able to hunt those weeks this year.
I tell you, I'm kind of liking that late season. You had told me in the past, hey, put in for the late season, the third season, because number one, you can hunt more often. Your odds of getting a tag are better. And I just like being in the woods at that time. I think that's going to become my go-to plan. I think I'm going to put in for the third season in Newberry every year. I probably won't get it every year, but I should get it every other year or so, eh?
Yes, exactly.
Hey, what about this story? I know you followed up on it. That lady who shot that 600 plus pound bear in the northern lower using a dog. Wasn't that a great story?
Definitely. Especially our first big game hunt to take a trophy animal of that caliber. I don't think she recognized early on what she'd accomplished.
I know it. I can't even imagine seeing a bear that size. I mean, to me, a 400-pound animal is a big animal. To see one that's 600 plus, that's just phenomenal.
I photographed them up to 800 pounds.
Where did you ever see a bear that big?
In Minnesota.
Wow.
But we've had them up to 700 in Michigan. That woman killed would have been over 700 live weight.
And
there was a number of big bears killed this year, Mike. A number of Boone and Crockett bears were killed in the UP in Menominee County. One was 590.
Wow. Back when we had open dumps in the UP, and that was a great place to view bears. And this might be a stupid question, so forgive me, but when there was that type of a food source, like at the open dumps, did the bears tend to run bigger then because they didn't have to rely so much on a mass crop or some natural food?
Some of them may have, but I don't recall seeing any exceptionally sized bears at dumps. But what has contributed is people who supplementally feed bears during the summer into early fall. That's produced some monster-sized bears in the UP.
Well, I could talk bear hunt with you all the time, constantly. But this is the opening weekend of the firearm season here in Michigan. You're headed off to camp. Have you had any close encounters with nice bucks so far with your bow?
I had a buck almost in position for a shot on October 19th, which was the first day I bow hunted, and the buck was coming in such a way that it looked up before it stepped in the open, and it saw me in the tree stand and backed up. So I never did get a shot.
One of those where they hit the brakes and they walk backwards in their tracks?
Exactly.
Are you using your crossbow, Richard?
Yes, definitely.
I see one of the proposals for next year is to finally allow crossbows during the late season in the Yoop.
Long overdue.
Man.
It should have never been prohibited in the first place.
I agree with you there. What do you think of the other proposals?
That's also long overdue. And both of those changes should have been part of the package that went into effect this year. The purpose of the regulation changes for this year were supposed to simplify regulations, increase the opportunity for hunters to harvest deer, and simplify things. And these two changes, one of which is to make one tag unrestricted on the UP combo license, are long overdue. And they make so much sense. It's unfortunate that hunters have been saddled with these regulations since 2008.
Richard, hang tight. I know you're anxious to get to camp, but I got to take a break here, so hang on. We're talking to Richard P. Smith, noted outdoor writer, black bear and whitetail expert. His website is richardpsmith.com, richardpsmith.com. There, by the way, you can learn about the many, many books that he's written, also his videos. Richard normally makes a downstate pre-Christmas PR campaign. I don't know if he'll do it this year. I'll ask him that after the break and much more as we talk with Richard P. Smith, richardpsmith.com, right here on Outdoor Magazine. The folks at Yider Insurance Group know you have lots of money invested in your hunting and fishing gear, and they want you to be protected. The Yider family has been in the insurance business for more than 75 years, and they build a reputation for taking great care of their customers. As a full-service agency featuring auto owners insurance, Yider can insure your fishing and hunting gear, your boat, snowmobile, ATV, and trailer, just about everything you depend on for your outdoor adventures. Yider also specializes in protecting outdoor-related businesses, from fishing guides to shooting ranges, anything for the great outdoors. The folks at Yider can help you because they're hunters and anglers themselves, and they know what we need from an insurance company. For more info, go to their website, huntingandfishinginsurance.com. That's huntingandfishinginsurance.com. Or call them toll-free at 800-975-6473. I trust the Yider Group and auto owners for all my insurance needs, because with Yider and auto owners, you've got friends in the outdoor insurance business. Everybody needs to put gas in their tank, so the next time, why not save money with fuel rewards from Forward Shell convenience stores? With fuel rewards, you'll save at least 5 cents a gallon on every fill-up at the 26 Forward Shell convenience stores. Plus, you can earn additional savings with select products and special offers at those Forward stores. You can save 20, 30, even 40 cents a gallon. And the more you use fuel rewards, the more you can save. I use the Fuel Rewards program every time I stop by a Forward Shell convenience store. And you can too. Go to fuelrewards.com. That's fuelrewards.com. You can also download the Fuel Rewards app on your phone. The Fuel Rewards program at your local Forward Shell convenience store. A great way to save money every time you fill up. To learn more, check out forwardconvenience.com. That's forwardconvenience.com. Food plots are a big deal these days, and nobody knows food plots better than the folks at Michigan-based Killer Food Plots. Company owner Nick Percy has worked hard to develop premier whitetail habitat for almost 3 decades. That experience, combined with expertise in building healthy soil and choosing the right seed, will produce the results you're looking for. KFP's natural-based Groganics Fusion Fertilizer and Retain Moisture and nutrient-absorbing pellets can give you the edge in creating food plots to attract and keep deer on your property. Check out their website, killerfoodplots.com. That's killerfoodplots.com. Killer Food Plots can help you get your soil where it needs to be to produce lots of healthy, great-tasting food for wildlife and cover crops to screen your plots and even direct the deer where you want them. This year, take your food plots to the next level with Killer Food Plots. killerfoodplots.com.
It's a complicated world we live in. Right about now, I'll bet your head is spinning like a tornado with news and opinions and conflicting do this and don't do that recommendations. Some days, you just want to throw up your hands, go to the woods, and stay there. And you know, that's not a bad idea. Jay's Sporting Goods encourages you to get back to your roots. Do some simple, traditional things for a while. In Michigan's great outdoors, space is one thing we have plenty of. So put as much social distance as you like between you and everyone else, including all your social media pals who somehow just recently became experts on every topic. And one more thing. Before you head out, head into Jay's Sporting Goods. Because even though there are shortages of a lot of things these days, Jay's has just what you need to make the most of your escape to our beautiful wide open spaces. It's the gateway to social distancing the way God intended. Jay's Sporting Goods, Clare and Gaylord.
You can hear the Outdoor Magazine show in Houghton Lake on the Twister 92.1 WTWS. You can hear us in Holland on WHTC AM and FM, 1450 AM, 99.7 FM. And you can hear us in Ludington on News 97.98, 98.7 WLDN. This segment of Outdoor Magazine brought to you by Great Lakes Charter Training. If you've ever wanted to be a licensed captain, I believe this is your best option. This is how I got my license. Captain Mel Stackpool, the guy who came up with the idea, is just a very, very good instructor and a good businessman because he's put together this model of classes. About 7 days worth of classes, if I remember right, maybe 9 days. I mean, it's an investment in time. There's no doubt about that. My actual classes were taught by Captain John Littlefield, but it's the only way I passed the Coast Guard test. If you want to be a charter captain, like a fishing captain, dive boats, sailing excursion, towboat captain, river cruise, if you want to take people on the water for money, you have to be licensed, and I am confident this is the best way to go. GLCtraining.com is the website, glctraining.com. While you are online, my website, MikeAveryOutdoors.com, and check out the website of Richard P. Smith, appropriately enough, RichardPSmith.com. We catch Richard on his way to deer camp for firearm season. And Richard, I got to ask, every year since I've known you, I think, you have made a pre-Christmas downstate book signing tour. Are you going to be able to do that this year with COVID?
No, I don't have plans to do so, unfortunately. But people can order my books and DVDs through my website, and Jay's Sporting Goods has all my books and DVDs as well.
Wonderful, but that's going to be. I realize you got to do what you got to do, or you can't do what you can't do this year. But that's become like a tradition for you for many years now. It has,
and it's a great time to do book signings prior to Christmas because everybody's looking for gifts for families and friends, and it's worked out well. But this coronavirus is a different ballgame.
Yeah, it is, but folks can go to the website, richardpsmith.com, and still make those orders and get those Christmas gifts. So I think that's a great idea. Hey, I want to follow up on a private, it's not a private conversation, but it's something I asked you off the air. A guy sent me a question, and he said, hey, I've got some, he said, I was hunting the other night, and a very nice 6-point came in. He said it should have been, it just looked like it should have been an 8-point. He said, if I let that deer go another year, will it come back as an 8-point? And I posed that question to you, Richard. Once a 6-point, once a deer without brow tines, will a deer ever grow brow tines once they get that first rack?
I don't think so, Mike. I think there's a genetic link to deer that don't have brow tines. I've shot 3.5-year-old bucks myself that didn't have brow tines, and I've got a 6-point on camera this fall that doesn't have brow tines, and I'm sure he's 3.5 based on his size and the tine length and the beam length on the deer. So I don't think passing up a buck without brow tines will result in them growing brow tines in the future.
Let's take it to the next level then, because I always used to hear this too. Once a spike, always a spike. Is that true?
No, that is not true. In some cases, a buck may grow spikes in multiple years, like in the UP when we have tough winters and they're nutritionally stressed, a 2-year-old buck might have spikes. But once they get older and have enough nutrition, if they're not nutritionally stressed, most bucks will grow a larger rack in their subsequent years. Now, I've seen 2.5-year-olds that only had 4 points, but they still have increased in size.
When you, and we're recording this before this firearm season has started, when you look ahead to the gun season this year in the UP, Richard, what do you expect? What do you think is going to happen?
I think there's going to be excellent success. One of my concerns is there's forecasting rain for all day on opening day. That may reduce hunting effort somewhat, but I think there's plenty of deer out there for hunters to harvest if the hunters are out there.
Downstate, we see corn plays a big factor. If there's a lot of standing corn, the deer go hide in there and the hunters can't get to them. This year, it looks like it's going to be down. Weather, of course, is a big factor. But speaking of weather, everybody wants snow for opening day. We're not going to get snow this year.
We're going to have some up here.
Are you? Okay, good.
We got fresh snow the few days prior to gun season, and hopefully some of it will stay.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. Well, that's good to hear. Well, because you're going to get snow right now. I mean, it was warm up there too, right?
It was warm up there, but we have snow on the ground prior to gun season, and they're only calling for highs in the 40s.
Oh, good.
I don't think all of it's going to melt.
Good.
At least I hope not.
I'm hoping so. Let's talk about deer hunting these days and how it's changed. I was talking about this earlier in the show. When I was a kid, we lived downstate, but my dad every year would go north. He'd go to the UP. He'd wait in line to take the ferry across to the UP. These days, a lot of these southern Michigan hunters aren't making that trek to the north. They're staying more in the southern part of the state. So that's certainly been one big change in deer hunting over the years here in Michigan, don't you think?
Yes, it has. And part of the reason is the shift in deer numbers. There's far more deer in southern Michigan, in some monster bucks, compared to the UP. We still have some monster bucks in the UP, but not the numbers we used to, because we've had poor management. In the fact that we've got more restrictions on buck harvest in the UP than the Lower Peninsula has discouraged people from coming north too. Under
like APRs? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Well, on the combination deer license in the UP, both tags are restricted. And you cannot shoot a doe with a bow and arrow across the UP. There's certain areas where you can't shoot a doe with a bow and arrow.
What about habitat? I hear so much about the deer yards. The cedar swamps are not like they used to be. How big of a problem? How big of a factor is that?
That is a big problem, but it's been worsened by the fact that our current management since 2008 has tried to carry too many deer through the winter, which has deteriorated the winter habitat we have. We need to return to the regulations they're proposing for next fall to give hunters an opportunity to harvest more deer and reduce the winter kill by having hunters harvest them.
I also hear a lot about the wolves. The wolves are a big factor. The wolves are decimating our UP deer herd. How much truth is there to that?
Well, they're having some impact. There's no question about it. Wolves are currently unregulated, and we clearly have over 1,000 every year in they got to feed themselves, and deer is one of their primary prey. So they take thousands of deer every year. I don't think they decimate our deer. Winters are a bigger factor than wolves. But it's nice to know that management will be returned to the state and they can start managing wolves properly.
Yeah, and let's hope that happens. You know, we know there will be a fight with the antis. They will come out from underneath their rocks and they'll fight it for a while. But hopefully the powers that be will have the fortitude to stick with it and make it happen.
Yeah.
You also said something a minute ago about comparing UP bucks to Lower Michigan bucks. You know, down here, if you get a 3.5-year-old farm-raised buck, he's an absolute stud. He's got a huge body. He's got a big rack. When I see pictures of UP bucks, sometimes I think the racks look a little bit small because the body size is big. But do you not get the development of racks that we do in the southern part of the state? Do they not grow as big as fast, I guess is my question?
Right. They don't grow as big as fast. Most of our biggest bucks have to be at least 5.5 years old before they grow the huge racks.
Because of nutrition?
No, I haven't been doing any fishing.
No, because of nutrition, because of the food that you just don't have the farm crops. Is that what it is?
It's partly that. It's mostly the winters. They're nutritionally stressed during severe winters. If we have mild winters and the excellent acorn crop, bucks can develop better antlers after a year like that. So it is nutrition related.
Nutrition related, but winters as well.
Yep.
And it seems to come. CWD. Before I let you go, CWD. Are you surprised that there hasn't been another case?
No, I'm not surprised because regulations are set to reduce the chances that hunters are going to harvest diseased deer. Yearling bucks are protected in most of the UP. They did remove the antler point restrictions from the CWD zone, but there could be some diseased deer that disperse from that zone into other areas. And when you protect most of the yearling bucks, you reduce the doe harvest, it reduces the chances you're going to harvest diseased deer.
Richard, it's always a pleasure. I'm looking forward to seeing a picture of you sitting over a nice 3.5, 4.5-year-old buck in the snow, a beautiful dark-racked UP buck. And I would encourage people to go to the website, richardpsmith.com, because Richard can't make his book signing tour this year. You can still order these online, though, at richardpsmith.com, richardpsmith.com. He says our friends at Jay's have the full lineup as well. Richard, good luck, and I look forward to talking with you again soon.
Thanks, Mike, and good luck to you, and good luck to everybody out there.
Hey, amen. Good luck to everybody. God bless everybody. RichardPSmith.com. We'll take a break here in the Outdoor Magazine show. When we come back, talk about, I have a couple of more things I want to talk about deer hunting in Michigan, and also an interesting observation that I made this week as far as my wife Denise and her sister Diane and their first experience with a CPL class right here on Outdoor Magazine. Welcome back to Outdoor Magazine. You can hear the show in Houghton Lake on 98.5 WUPS and in Saginaw on our flagship stations, News Radio 790 WSGW and 100.5 WSGW FM. I say flagship with no disrespect to any of our affiliates. I appreciate each and every one of them, and every one of them is a critical part of the Outdoor Magazine radio network. But I'm here in the studios of WSGW, and while I'm here, this is the Outdoor Magazine radio studio. Pat Johnston in here with me doing a wonderful job, as always. Pat and I were talking about Michigan football, and And all we can do is just laugh. Anyway, Pat, I always appreciate your help. And always enjoy my this segment of Outdoor Magazine brought to you by Reader Landscaping. Reader can take care of your lawn and property because it's your nature and our nurture. Fall cleanup just about wrapping up, but you can look forward to Christmas decorations. The folks from Reader can help you out. And that 4-letter word, snow. Snow removal, the guys from Reader and gals can help you out there as well. They do a great job. I really appreciate their help around my house. And I don't even have a big piece of property to work on. If I had a bunch of land, I could really use the folks at Reader. Even with a small city lot, I can use their help. ReaderLandscaping.com is the website. ReaderLandscaping.com. I always enjoy my conversations with Richard P. Smith, talking about deer hunting in the UP and this history of deer hunting. It's a big weekend here in Michigan, the opening day of firearm deer season. When it happens on a weekend, that's a big deal. I will be out Sunday night in a tree stand with a rifle in my hands, which is kind of a foreign thing to me. It's not something that I do very often, but I'm looking forward to it because I'll be out there. My son James will be out there. My granddaughter Addison will be out there. My grandson Trent will be out there. So you talk about this history and tradition of keeping this going. It's very special. I really, really do enjoy it. And I've worked hard. I've worked hard to get my interest back in deer hunting. I don't have the passion that I did. I don't have the intensity that I did. But my interest in deer hunting is back, and I welcome that. I did have an interesting situation this past week. My wife, Denise, and my sister-in-law, Diane, took a CPL class, a concealed pistol license class. Now, my wife has obviously shot before, not a lot. She's very comfortable around guns because I'm always around guns, and she accepts that, and she's very comfortable with that. But she hadn't done a lot of shooting. My sister-in-law, Diane, really hadn't been around guns that much, and she was, I don't want to say she was afraid of them, but there wasn't a comfort level there. So they had a CPL class that they took last Sunday. And Saturday evening we went out and we did some shooting just to kind of, for Denise to refresh her exposure with guns and to really have Diane shoot a gun for the first time. And they enjoyed it. And the CPL class was really, I obviously didn't hang around for the class because I didn't want to get in the way, but I did show up at the end of it as they were doing their shooting, and I saw the instructor and watched him. He was very, very good. He's an NRA certified instructor, very good. And I found it interesting as to how these two ladies now look at guns and shooting and self-protection. They enjoyed the class. They enjoyed shooting. And they look at this whole concept now in a different light. And I find it interesting because these are two women who I love and know very well, but I'm seeing this reflected across society. More women are getting into guns and getting into shooting. And the idea of self-protection and being able to protect yourself. And we're seeing an interest right now in guns and shooting like never before. Have you gone into a gun shop to try to buy a gun or ammunition right now? They say elections are always good for gun sales, and it certainly was this time around. I think it's an interesting a note, an observation. When my wife was getting ready to pick a gun to use for her CPL class, I laid, I think, 5 different 9mm out in front of her. I said, which one do you want to take to the class? And I had her pick them up and hold them and see which one felt good to her. And she actually chose a Springfield at XDS, which is kind of a thicker grip. I was surprised by that. And my sister-in-law, Diane, had a Smith & Wesson M&P 22. So she loved shooting the 22 because that was very comfortable, although not a great self-defense gun. And the 9mm was actually a bit too much for my wife. It was hard to manipulate. It was hard to rack and a significant amount of recoil, even though it's only a 9. So after seeing how she reacted to the class, and she was pretty excited about it and the concept of concealed carry, I was looking for the ideal gun for her. One that was easy to manipulate, easy to rack, easy to load, and with not too bad a recoil. I decided on a Smith & Wesson Shield Easy 380. Now, I have a 9mm Smith & Wesson Shield that I like, but this easy 380 is amazing. Of course, a 380, a little less recoil, still an acceptable self-defense round. Not the best, but acceptable. The slide on this is extremely easy to manipulate, extremely easy to rack. The magazine is easy to load. I'm just so impressed with this. We have, as of the time I'm recording the show right now, she has not shot it. By the time you hear the show, she would have shot it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what her reaction is to the reduced recoil. So the more people we get involved in shooting, the more women we get involved in shooting and self-defense and concealed carry, in my opinion, the better off we all are. And I just found that to be a very interesting and refreshing observation. I went through this years ago, but to see these two go through it now was a lot of fun and very, very interesting. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll wrap it all up with wild game chef extraordinaire Dave Minar right here on Outdoor Magazine. By now, you know all about Angler Quest boats. The center console design, binary wall system, and smooth ride with lots of room have anglers convinced a pontoon can be a great fishing rig. And the folks at Michigan-based Angler Quest continue to make their boats even better. Now the signature rocket launcher Arch can tilt down. That's great for high water levels, trailering, and storage. Also, there's a new panfish model that's perfect for smaller inland lakes. The popular Pro Troll models continue to dominate big water for walleye, salmon, and trout, and the family fish can keep everyone happy whether fishing or cruising. All Angler Quest boats are designed by fishermen and made in Michigan by skilled craftsmen using the latest technology. You can learn more online at anglerquestpontoons.com. That's anglerquestpontoons.com. With more models, upgraded designs, plenty of features, and bigger outboards, this is the perfect year for you to join the Angler Quest family.
At Garber Chevrolet in Midland, Saginaw, Linwood, Caro, and now Chesaning. We're better for a reason. Like Garber's low price guarantee. Get incredible everyday low prices on a new Chevy Equinox, Silverado, Traverse, or Trax. Think you found a better deal somewhere else? Bring it to us, and we will beat it. Getting more options and choices is always better. And Garber's combined inventory is the Great Lakes Bay region's largest selection of new Chevrolets. Browse online at garberchevrolet.com. Then use our Buy From Home feature to purchase entirely online. And Garber Chevrolet's customer service is in a class of its own. We always put your needs first. Better prices, better selection. There's a reason why you'll do better at Garber Chevrolet in Midland, Saginaw, Linwood, Caro, and now Chesaning. Home of the low price guarantee. Online at garberchevrolet.com. Chevy, find new roads.
You'll do better at Garber.
Have you tried the Mike Avery Hunter Sticks from Michigan Brand Meats? They feature two of my favorites, elk and pepper, and I think they taste great. I've been working with the Grillo family of Michigan Brand for a few years now, and I couldn't be happier. Michigan Brand is family-owned and based right here in Michigan, and they make lots of great products. From jerky, sausage, and those Hunter Sticks to their famous Michigan Brand hams, you can't go wrong with Michigan Brand meats. Plus, Michigan Brand can process your boned-out wild game, too. Check out the website, michiganbrand.net, for more info. That's michiganbrand.net. You can buy the Mike Avery Hunter Sticks on that website. Plus, you can get them at Jay's Sporting Goods, all Forward convenience stores, Jack's Fruit Markets, and many other great stores, too. There's a complete list on the website. Again, that's michiganbrand.net for the Mike Avery Hunter Sticks, the outstanding Michigan Brand hams, and lots more. michiganbrand.net. Security Credit Union wants to thank you for helping to make them one of Michigan's fastest growing credit unions. Check out Security's Debit Rewards program, where you can earn points just by using your debit or Titanium Rewards credit card. Redeem those points for great gifts and merchandise. Or how about the Save to Win account? That's a Security Credit Union account that gives you all the benefits of a traditional savings account, plus the chance to win big. Every $25 you deposit into this share certificate earns you an entry into the monthly and quarterly drawings. The more you save, the more chances to earn. Up to 10 entries per month. You'll build up your savings, earn interest and dividends, and have a chance at multiple prizes. And remember, Security Credit Union loves to work with outdoorsmen and women, and they can help you with your next outdoor adventure. Check them out online at securitycu.org. That's securitycu.org. federally insured by the NCUA. Welcome back to Outdoor Magazine. This segment brought to you by my friends at Wilds Plumbing and Heating. Plumbing, heating, air conditioning, cooling, ductwork cleaning, fixing leaking shower heads, you name it. And they've actually done every one of those jobs for me at my house. Everything to keep you warm, dry, comfortable in your house. The folks at Wilds can take care of it. Check them out online at wildsplumbingandheating.com. That's wildsplumbingandheating.com. And if you have the guys come over to the house, be prepared to talk a little hunting or fishing as well, too, because they love the outdoors just like you and I do. Another guy who loves the outdoors, wild game chef extraordinaire Dave Minar, helps us wrap up almost each week's show, and he's with us once again. David, welcome back. Last week you were under the weather. How are you feeling now, my friend?
Oh, pretty good. I had my procedure done, and I'm healing up real nicely. Thanks for asking.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. So listen, have you probably haven't had a chance to spend much time in a tree stand here the last week or so then, have you?
Not really. It's just been too hectic with all the stuff going on, so. But I'm going to get ready, and I'm going to make some time now.
Excellent. And I bet that since this is the opening weekend of firearm deer season, you might have a venison recipe for us, maybe?
Gee, maybe.
Maybe.
Well, okay. Let's shoot for one anyway. Well, let's do a venison steak. And this is with a woodland mushroom sauce. What would be nice if you're in the woods and you know what you're doing and what kind of mushrooms to pick, there's quite a variety out there right now. There's two of them that everybody sees all the time. They got that kind of orangish, yellowy cap with like little white warts all over it. Don't take them. Them are somewhat poisonous, or they might even cause hallucinogenic properties.
Oof.
It's the death angel or the fly agaric or something like that. I do believe they're called. But if you know what you're doing, it would be pretty cool to have your own venison and pick your own fall mushrooms. But they're out there, hen with chicks, and there's just all kinds of wood ears, So this is going to be for 4 portion. You need about 8 to 10 ounces of steak per person, 1 medium onion diced nice and fine, about a pound of the mushrooms. And if you can't get morels or the wood ears, the oyster, the shiitake, just regular mushrooms would be just fine and dandy. You need about 2 or 3 cloves of garlic chopped up real fine, depending on your flavor needs. And I use about 3 ounces of Marsala wine, which is, get the sweet Marsala, not the dry. It's a dessert Italian wine. 1 12-ounce jar of beef gravy. And I like to finish this dish with sour cream. It's just great. You need some fresh ground black pepper, flour, and olive oil. So you're going to take and get them steaks all trimmed out. Say if it's the tenderloins you're going to use, trim them down, cut them into maybe 3 pieces, and when you put them between the saran wrap or wax paper or plastic wrap, you want to have the grain up. So when you pound it down, the grain is going to be pushed down, so that's a nice way to not have it pucker up. Or if you're using loin steaks, you want to butterfly them, because you're not going to, chances are, get a very big steak out of most of the deer that we harvest. So before you pound them out, I would grate fresh black pepper all over all of the meat, both sides, then pound it down. That's going to push that meat, the flavor into the meat, which is good. You're going to have a nice hot pan, dredge it in flour. Then you're going to take a small amount of olive oil and brown them off real fast. You want to get done with that. Rare, take it out rare. So then you'll take the onions and the mushrooms and the garlic and saute that up a little bit. And then you're going to take the gravy, the Marsala wine. Marsala wine is not going to flare up any way, shape, or form. So bring that up to a nice boil. Cook it down a little bit. And then if you like too, what might be good is some fresh chopped basil. If you like that flavor, that would really bring the taste up of this dish. So reduce that down a little bit, put the meat back in it, because it's very rare when you take it out. So you want to put that to your liking, no more than medium. I would say medium rare to rare would be the very best for this dish. turn the fire off. As soon as the stuff stops boiling, stir in that sour cream. That's going to just make it just wonderful. And when it's done, you might want to try a wild rice blend or some kind of pasta, whatever your favorite pasta would be. Bow tie pasta would make this look so cool. But enjoy it. You got the fall mushrooms and you got the venison.
See, I never think of mushrooms in the fall, ever. To me, it's a springtime deal.
Oh, no, there's tons of it out there. Get a mushroom book.
Well, you'd want to, right? As you say, you'd want to because you want to make sure you don't get the wrong ones. That's for sure.
Yeah, because the most prevalent ones you're going to see are the death angel or the fly agaric. It's that yellow or orange, kind of a rounded top, and it's got them white warts all over it. Shy away from them. That's not good for you.
The name alone, Death Angel, makes me realize I probably shouldn't be eating that one.
Exactly. But, I'm not telling people to pick anything you don't know exactly what it is. Get a mushroom book. They're out there, Any of the good bookstores have them. Yeah. And pick your own.
David, nice to have you back with us. I'm glad you're feeling better, and I'll look forward to talking with you next week.
Thanks a lot. Everybody have a safe and sane season. Wear your harnesses if you're going to be up in the trees or the hunter's safety vest. Please, I've had 2 relatives that have broken their backs from being up in trees.
Words of advice from wild game chef extraordinaire Dave Minar. Listen, I agree, though. Have a great season. Have fun. Send me your pictures. Send me your emails to Mike at MikeAveryOutdoors.com. Check out the website, MikeAveryOutdoors.com. And I will talk with you next time right here on Outdoor Magazine.